What's up?
Nothing much, man. So I got a young audience, so I'm gonna let you introduce yourself to the people who don't know you.
Well, for those who don't know me, I'm the guy that that do all of the hip hop fraternity. I'm like the uncle of hip hop. I work with 50 Cent, Pimp, that's me in the PIMP video. That's me on Lil Jon album. I was on Two Heads. I was on 5 of Pimp C album plus the UGK album. I was on 5 of Pastor Detroit albums. So those guys are a little old too, you know what I'm saying? But currently what we're doing is, we basically, bringing all the brothers and sisters together, that believe in hip hop. I often say, Italians got spaghetti and meatballs, Mexican got tacos and enchiladas, and the Chinese got shrimp fried rice. We got hip hop. That's our culture. That's part of their culture. So that being said, we have helped cultivate America because the second largest export in America is hip hop. So, I teach young people about cryptology, about NFTs, about NFCs, about ASCAP, BMI, TuneCore, CSAC, all the things they need to know, EPKs and copyrights, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm also the guy that signed Boosie to his book deal. I'm the guy that signed Ice-T to his book deal. I'm about to sign Jack Harlow. Yeah, the white boy, Lake, shout out to Lake, his manager. So I do a lot of the behind the scene things, a lot of time, a lot of money being made and some big deals, you may see my name connected to it. I'm the guy that did the Pimps Up, Hoes Down. I brokered that. We did that way back in the day with HBO. That was the first deal I did. Yeah, then I did American Pimp with the Hughes brothers, you know what I'm saying? I got 5 movies of my own, a couple of them right here. I got 2 books, The Art of Human Chess and the 48 Laws of Game, Pimpology.
Originally, you're from Chicago.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then later on in life, you moved to Milwaukee. At the age of
Milwaukee, 14.
14. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So, what do you remember from your time growing up in Chicago?
Well, I remember the projects, I remember the rats, the roaches, I remember my brothers pissing on me and shit because we all had to sleep in the same bed. I remember, playing with the kids, we didn't have no playground, it was all concrete, we didn't have grass and shit. I remember, throwing rocks at the cars, as they go past and shit, and putting tires and shit in the middle of the street so people could have accidents and busting bottles and shit. All the shit you do in the project, hanging clothes up and shit, because you couldn't afford to clean it, so we wash our own clothes. When they say I'm hanging in and wear clothes like the projects, that's what we talk about. Walking up and down Madison Avenue, walk up and down Michigan Avenue, State Street, selling, begging people for quarters and shit. We used to cut the flowers and shit out the yard and put the flowers in with a little case of sodas coming. We used to sell the flowers, it was for the church. Excuse me, Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm going to go to hell for that, but we used to just sell, just doing all kind of crazy shit, man. And then finally, we went to the school up there, we had fun, going to school, I was just telling them today that, like, on one side of the project, you had the Vice Lord, the other side of the project, you had GDs. So it might be people from 3 different gangs. You go 2-3 blocks and you're in different gangs. So, I grew up in that gang culture. I was there, with Larry Hoover and, Jeff Ford, and I was walking up and down the streets, on 63rd, Blackstone Avenue, you used to see them dudes, in the main 21s, all this gang banging shit when it first originated. But it was more like a after school program. I remember we used to go, they say the Blackstones is having a after breakfast program where we go and they go to breakfast, the Black Panthers, all of them. Mm-hmm. All that shit was in Chicago back then. Nation of Islam walking around selling bean pies and all that shit, dudes coming into our project with the little bow ties and shit, the suits on. Mm-hmm. All that shit was everything in the project. Then you go to Ida B. Wells, you can go to down there on Division at the Caprina Green, and it's just the same old shit, man. Just a bunch of, what I would call economic depression, abject poverty. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of poverty, impoverished people in Chicago. So going to Milwaukee was a different scene. Because they had houses and, my auntie and them, they had grass and shit, so it was a different scene. It was a transition. My mother, she was from Tupelo, Mississippi, and she always wanted to get, out of Chicago because it was a little bit too fast for her. But my daddy was a player. He was a hustler, street nigga, so he loved the shit.
Let's go back to Chicago, backtrack back there. As far, like you said, like far as the gangs back then, well, they wasn't gangs. It was more so like organizations.
Yeah, it was called community organizations. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Ford, you know, they got some money from the government, they got some grants, and the FBI tried to say
they got grants.
Yeah, they got millions of dollars from because they was the Black Stones. He went to the federal penitentiary, came out, they became the El Rookers. El Rookers is really pretty offshoot of the Moore Science Temple. You know what I'm saying? So they were moles. You know what I'm saying? Moore Science is like, you know, the Honorable Noble Drew Ali. So, you know, everybody flipped over to that, and then, you know, it was like, you know, they was having like, you know, a little at the fort. You know, they had little, you know, programs and stuff like that, and you know, Brother Ishmael, all of them, you know, Brother Gator, they was into politics. So it's really, you know, the feds. Can I speak on okay, we think about the government back then. It was a thing called COINTELPRO. So COINTELPRO was started by J. Edgar Hoover. So his thing was to stop the Black Messiah, right? So any black organization at that time that had any type of traction was considered, you know, a threat to the United States government. So they labeled them as black militant organizations. So, you know what I'm saying, Jeff Ford now got labeled as a black militant organization, and they set them up. They tried to get them to buy some rocket launchers. And then when they went to buy the rocket launchers, the feds showed up, and then that's how they all got indicted. You know what I'm saying? And that's how, you know, they start saying that, you know, these is terrorists. You know what I'm saying? They try to hit us with the terrorists, hit them with the terrorist thing first, you know. But J. Edgar Hoover been started that. Just like even today, that's why we call ourselves the hip hop fraternity, because the word hip hop, you know, usually you associate with Sony music, Columbia music, you associated with you know, any of the bigger record labels, Def Jam. So when you say hip hop, that's not a black militant organization. When you say fraternity, you think of the Masons, you think of the Elks, you think of the, you know, different organizations that are fraternity. So when I looked and seen the word hip hop fraternity was available, I said they can't demonize the hip hop fraternity, which is this patch on my jacket. You know what I'm saying? This is our organization. So that was one of the things that, you know, so when you talk about Chicago, it's good that you mentioned that. When I look back at that, I look back at what was going on in that era and time, you know, it gave me pretty much the structure of how we structure our movement, the hip hop fraternity. So we can't be demonized, and we can't be looking at it as like the black, unquote, black messiah.
Yes. And it's kind of like compared to like the modern Chicago, whereas the GDs and the BDs, Stones and all that, they kind of won. It just became a game versus what it originally started out to be for, like, kind of like the Black Panthers, what it really started
Well, you know
out
what
to
they did? They locked all the OGs up, you know what I'm saying? I was locked up with most of them in the feds, and, you know, what happened is, you know, like, in Chicago, like, my cousin got killed. He's a gangster disciple, you know what I'm saying, I mean? So he got killed, you know, by some gangster disciples, you know, they, you know, because he was getting a lot of money, and they killed him. So, you know, a lot of times, you know, a lot of those brothers, man, when they get, you know, at a certain status, you know, and certain money come in, you know, whether you're a governor, you know, whether you're holding a major position or whatever, you know what I'm saying, what they do is, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you know, they turn on each other, you know what I'm saying, I mean, and they start crossing one another. Well, before, you know, when you had structure, you know, growth and development, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you had, you know, El Rookin, it was a different demonstration, you know what I'm saying, with Willie Lord, all them, you know, Jeff Ford, all, you know, Mickey and all them, you know, Mickey Caldwell, all them, they had Larry Hoover. It was a different structure, you know what I'm saying? I mean, even though Larry was in jail, he still had brothers out there that was holding it down. So they would, you know, make sure that these brothers, you know, took showers. They make sure that these brothers understood they lit, you know what I mean? You know, 215, 19, they had to understand all this. This boss. They had to understand all of this, you know what I'm saying? I mean, in order to get, you know, affiliated, like you had to be in the books. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but somewhere down the line, dude started saying, nigga, fuck that, nigga, I'm O-Block, nigga, I'm 63rd, nigga, fuck that, nigga, I'm Wild 100, you know what I'm saying? And it just started being factions. So when it became factions, that's when you start seeing a lot of brothers, you know what I'm saying, they get killed. You start seeing a lot of brothers, you know, GDs war with GDs. You gotta remember, you know, O-Block is right here, and 63rd is right here, so it's like, you know, 64th and 63rd. Yeah, so them niggas like right around the corner from each other. Yeah. And then when they tore all the projects down, they moved all us out to out there where R. Kelly lived, out there in the suburbs, you know. And then once they went out to the suburbs, then, you know, you got a whole bunch of gangs that been feuding, like Vice Lords and GDs who've been feuding all these years, and it ain't about, you know, they just, you know, having after school fights. Now you actually shooting at a nigga that live across the street from you. I mean, literally, nigga live right across the street, and that's your rival, that's your ops, you know. And I think that the government did that on tension. That's when the murder rate went up. As soon as they killed the projects down, because, you know, you couldn't, you know, niggas didn't come in the gardens, and niggas didn't come in IW Wells or you know, any of those projects back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Cabrini Green and did that disorder. You had people that was in charge of those projects. You know, you had structure. You know what I'm saying? I mean, then, you know, like I said, you know, when Larry Hoover now, they made sure they had lit, you know, El Rookies, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Gangsta Disciple, love, life, loyalty, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. You know what I'm saying? They had principles that they was guided by. That shit out the door now.
Just recently, Larry Hoover denounced himself as far as his affiliation with the GDs. Yeah, that's he don't want no parts of it. Allegedly, I don't know how true it is. I didn't hear him personally say that. But do you think that he will ever, you know, come home? I think he's not facing. He's doing like over 200 years.
Yeah, well, technically, he got about 4 or 5 licenses. Yeah, so technically, he was supposed to come home because when you look at Larry Hoover, you know what I'm saying, he really ain't controlling nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in years, the streets, I don't care, you call the shots. If you ain't there, you know, when I always tell niggas, I said, yeah, Ken, but yeah, man, when that pistol in your face, you know what I'm saying, it's a whole different conversation, man. When you out there on the block, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you selling rocks and shit, and the feds and the armed robbers, that's a whole different station. So I can't call no project. So, but Larry Hoover he's an iconic figure in the GD nations. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so a lot of people, you know, even though they don't follow his rules and his regulations and his principles, you know what I'm saying? I mean, when it's convenient, you know, hey man, Larry Hoover the chairman. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but they should respect him as a chairman, respect what he stood for. You know, growth and development. You know, I mean, you know, uplifting the community. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, real gangsters go to polls. You know what I'm saying? All of this is stuff he was espousing, but people was out there taking his message and misconstruing it, and that's why he's still in jail. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a lot of people out here that's saying that they GD, or saying that they, you know, they gangsta disciple, but in reality, you know what I'm saying, Larry Hoover wouldn't have nothing to do with that. Larry Hoover ain't got nothing to do with them killing no innocent kids. Larry Hoover never, them brothers was trying to feed kids. It was a community organization. You know how that go, man. You know, when you at the top, you know, back in them days, you know, people was aspiring to be, you know, whenever, you know, when you the king, everybody aiming at your crown. So, you know what I mean, that might have been how his situation persists from being in jail for all them years. But, you know, I know the feds say they whatever, you know, and they got this information on him. Even if that's true, even if he was, you know, selling drugs or orchestrating drugs from prison, it still don't constitute a man to spend the rest of his life in jail. You giving everybody the First Step Act, you giving them all of them the same thing. Like my cousin, you know, Ike Taylor, you know what I'm saying, Dagwood, you know, they kind of, you know, in that shit, you know, so I know a lot about it. You know, I got a lot of cousins that's vice lords, I got a lot of cousins that's GDs, you know what I'm saying? I'm neutral. You see what I'm saying?
Why you didn't ever join the gang?
Because I ain't never have to. If all your cousins is gangbangers, and like even in Milwaukee, my man, you know, the East Side Gangster, my man ran that shit. So you know what I'm saying? I mean, why I got to be in it? I ain't got to, you know, then that way I ain't got to pay no po boxes. I ain't got to get no money to nothing. I ain't got to owe no niggas or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was always, I throw up the revenues, the money is, the peace sign, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? I ride through the Benz, Rolls Royce. You know, I dab everybody. They know not to fuck with me because they know, you know, I got affiliation on multiple levels. Yeah. So my man run, you know, the East Side Gangsters in Milwaukee. So me and him cool. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, we ain't, you know, never, you know, I ain't never was forced to join. My cousins, you know, all of them, they high officials in the GD Nation. You know, Gov, you know, G Gov, that's my cousin, you know. So it's a lot of gangsters, you know, a lot of my, you know, my cousins, you know, Vice Lord, you know, my family, on my Auntie Charlotte's side. I don't know if they want me to say their names, so I ain't gonna say their name. But these are names I'm saying, just people that everybody know. But, you know, and they already said it on my camera, so no, I ain't have to join. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's hard for me to join too because, you know, I like the modes. You know, I'm Moorish American. You know, that's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's the 5-point star. You know, I've been under the 5-point star for years, but it ain't in the gang. So you understand? A lot of the dudes that 5-point star, when we was in jail, they used to come to our meetings and they used to meet with us. You know what I'm saying? The Sunni Muslims used to meet with us, and then, you know, the GDs. You know, the gangsters, that's all my guys, you know. They the one tying niggas up and doing all the weird shit, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, they ain't tying me up, so, you know, I'm fucking with them, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the block. So when I'm riding my motherfucking Maserati and my Benz and my Rolls Royces through the hood and niggas, you know, showing love and respect, I liked it that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so I couldn't go against the vice lords. I couldn't go against the GDs. Like I said, a lot of vice lords, you know, they up under the same thing. We under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. You know what I'm saying? But it's a religion, right? So, you know, that's my religion, Morning Science Temple, that's my organization. So a lot of them brothers, you know, we cool. And then a lot of gangsters, I'm cool with them by family, like really. Like my family really run that shit on so many levels, you know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, when I go to Chicago, you know, niggas gotta check in, all that shit. I don't do none of that shit. I just pull up, you know, west side, south side. I don't have no problems. I don't want no problems. But the thing about it like that too, Cash said, y'all don't want no problems neither. You know what I'm saying? We don't want no problems, y'all don't want them neither.
Say, wise man once said, y'all be beefing with each other while we take care of y'all women. It's Murphy Lee from St. Louis.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say, when exactly did you get into the game? I just say that.
The pimp game?
Yeah.
Oh man, it was crazy, man, because I was robbing banks and robbing jewelry stores. And yeah, I know, man. And so my partner, JD, I came home, he had 3 bitches. He had a light-skinned bitch. He said, man, which one you want? I said, give me one of the bitches. I said, I want the one that's light bright with the pussy candy stripe. So Dirty Red ended up being my first hoe, you know what I'm saying? I talk about it in that book I sold you. And she
pimped me right there. So
look, right there.
I didn't pimp you.
Y'all be killing me right there. He got your way.
Only way
He said, come here.
Only way you can pimp somebody got that with mini skirt and some high heels. So I know you don't got no mini skirt and high. I can never pimp a man. I refuse to pimp a man. You know, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I don't got nothing against, but I don't do that. But no, you know what I'm saying? Me, so she gave me the game. And then, you know I talk real fast and I got a lot of game. So I was like, you know, it was like a natural for me, right? But then this guy named Star Child, he introduced me to the game from A to Z. He explained it to me. You know, how this go, man. You know, hey man, your bitch, you know what I'm saying? She don't supposed to look at another pimp. Hey man, your bitch supposed to walk with her head down. Say, man, when you meet a bitch, drill a bitch, you know what I'm saying? Find out everything about her so you know where she come from, what you got to deal with, you know. He was just teaching me all that and I was just a fast learner. So then he told me how to knock a bitch, and the first bitch I knocked was his bitch. It was a bitch named Bridget.
Damn, back door.
And that nigga,
back door, man.
No. He taught me.
Damn, shorty.
No. But he told me, for full disclosure, that all hoes belong to the community. He said all bitches belong to the community. He said, man, this bitch don't belong to me. She don't belong to you. He said, the book on what the bitch gonna do ain't been written yet. So he said, so the bitch might choose you to me, and she, you know, I mean, you know, she had reckless eyeballs, you know what I'm saying, and I went in. And so I served the nigga news. I said, man, you can break the play. I said, that bitch don't eat there no more, you know what I'm saying. I didn't blow your fuse and put your bitch up under some new rules, right? He was like, you know what I'm saying. He went through all that shit. So, you know, that went crazy. But I ended up robbing more banks and keep going to jail because the bitch is too slow. You know, I don't fuck with Cadillacs. They're slow. I drive all foreign. You know, Cadillacs too slow for me. Brooks and all that shit. I don't fuck with that American shit. I like that fast shit. So, you know, the bitch was too slow. So I'm, you know, getting money like this. And then, you know, when I went to jail, what made me change my perspective was a 21-year-old dude, the Chicago versus the Bulls. It was 1986. You know what I'm saying? And we was watching the game, and the police, the correction officer said, go to bed. And, you know, I'm a Bulls fan at this time. I'm like Bulls out, right? And I was so mad, and I wanted to whoop the dude. It was either whoop him or I had a year left in the joint, you know. So I went. That's the first time I cried in prison. I didn't cry for going to jail. I cried because I couldn't watch the Bulls. I said, man, I'm a monkey in a fucking cage. I said, I hate this shit, right? And I said, I ain't never going. So when I got out of jail, they call it ING. ING means I'm not going, send the bitch. So I started pimping with the ING. And that's how I got into the game. And then, you know, I didn't know I was going to become as legendary or as big as I was. But it was just that, you know, I was the type of dude, you gotta remember, I was stealing a lot of money when I was a kid, so I didn't buy suits. I bought Armani suits. I didn't buy regular Gucci. You know, I bought big Gucci. You know what I'm saying? I had my, you know, I was just overwhelmed with it. But I didn't know because I was that way that would attract niggas in the game that like, that nigga's a boss. You know what I'm saying? So I was doing boss shit even though it was boss shit. I just didn't like cheap shit. You know what I'm saying? So I bought all exclusive shit. I designed my jewelry, designed my and that made me a premier player amongst players. You know, all my cars was slicked out. You know what I mean? So niggas, then, you know, bitches love me. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of bitches. You know what I'm saying? A lot of bitches.
Yeah, well, like, what, 16?
I had 16, but I had a whole lot of bitches.
At once, that's a habit.
I don't think there's a nigga in the game that they had more bad bitches than me. I'm talking about some of the baddest bitches. And niggas in Milwaukee testify. You know, I had model bitches. I had Asian, Malaysian, whatever the fuck. I had all them bitches.
Did that become stressful sometimes? I know, like, Sugar Free. Are you familiar with Sugar Free?
Yeah, that's my main man.
Yeah. I know I seen one of his interviews, he was saying he had like a few girls, but he got to balance like all these emotions. And you had 16 at one time.
But see, you gotta remember, you know, I'm a mo. So I had a lot of knowledge. I read every book in the fucking prison. I read psychology, Dr. Ed Burns, you know, Sigmund Freud. So I understood psychology. I was sharper than a lot of niggas, you know, because I was educated and street educated. So a lot of shit I did was I used the shit I learned in the books. I would take the crazy wild bitches in my crew, and I put all them bitches together. I take the fast go bitches, the bitches that were shy, but I put them. So I had bitches in packs, and I had other bitches that understood my rules and my regulation, and I would teach them and horn in on them my game, so I could just put them with a bitch, and the bitch would run them. I'd be just pimping on the phone. They're like, "What's up? What you bitches got? How much money you hoes got?" Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, talk to Cheryl. She gonna tell y'all what I want. You know what I mean? And so I had like lieutenants. I had bitches that was lieutenant. That's how I was able to govern so many bitches for so many years. Yeah, so I had management. You know, I delegate to them bitches, and they delegate to the other bitches. And nobody never knew my secret. You know what I'm saying? That was a secret. And then, I don't know if you know, bitches can be real freaky. They be in the hotel having, I don't even call it menage a trois. They fucking and kicking and shit. And I know they doing this square ass shit, but it don't bother me because I'm winning. You know what I'm saying? Me, and I know these bitches developing. I know they stealing money and doing all the other shit they do. You understand me? But hey, man, if you got some bitches, you ain't got to see them for 2 or 3 months, and you getting thousands. I'm coming to bags of money. I'm flying into cities getting bags of money. It was worth the while. But a lot of niggas used to tell me ask me how I do. I would never tell them, because if I told them, then they know what I know, and then, you know what I'm saying, it won't be a secret no more.
Have you ever mixed business with pleasure? Have you ever stuck your hand in the cookie jar? I just put word like that.
I had sex with my hoes?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I'm not a homosexual, right? So what I mean, but listen like that. I mean, I don't fuck with square bitches either. So the only thing I can have sex with is with a prostitute. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I use protection. You know, every now and then you get a bitch you be with for years, and you know what I mean. You might slip a little bit, take the condom off. But yes, you know, I have, you know, had sex with my women because I don't have, you know, you're allowed to have women with squares. Like say if she was a regular chick, and you know, I couldn't have sex with her because that would make my hoes mad. They'd be like, "Why is you having sex with her and we out here getting all this money? And this bitch is a square. You know, this bitch is L7. You know what I'm saying? So hell no, I couldn't have sex with her. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to have sex with her anyway because in the game we feel like, you know, this bitch beat me out of my sex. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you ain't paid for it. Like I said, I got to meet on my P. The longer you stay, the longer you have to pay. If you think I'm handsome, pay my ransom. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's purse first and ass last. You know what I'm saying? That's how we thought. I mean, this is the game. And then you talk to anybody that's been an ex-pimp, they're going to say the same thing that I told you, that I'm telling you now. That, you know, and you know what? Just like you, man, I have met women that, man, that literally made me cringe. They were so beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't turn them out. I couldn't flip them. And I wanted to go in, my nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I want like, man, this body is like, oh, man, I got to hit this, right? But you know what I'm saying? I had to fight everything. It took everything in me to fight me. Like, no, keep it pimping. You know what I mean? Don't violate these rules. You know what I'm saying? The gang gonna jinx you. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't go bad. But you know, I had women, you know what I'm saying, that men would die for. They give me all their fucking money. You know what I'm saying? They do anything I say do. If I tell them to lick my penis from this end of the motherfucking room to that end of the room, they gonna lick it without nothing dripping. You know what I mean? That's just how much control I had. You know, I mean, like, so most niggas that most bras that niggas fall in love with, I had them at my command. You know what I'm saying? So you know, it's a flip side. You know, but yeah, I have, you know, had sex with my girls because it was permissible. You know, everybody in the gang, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, which the thing you don't want to do, you don't want to get a woman pregnant.
Fuck it. I'm going to ask you this. Nowadays, it seems like the women are the pimps.
Yeah,
they finessing now. What's your thoughts on that, man? The game, they said the game to change.
You got to remember, back then we had the track. Now you got the Apple Mac. You know what I'm saying? I mean, bitches on computers. So they don't need no pimp. hoes need pimps because you on the track. You know, you got niggas out here crazy. You got hoes out there whooping them and shit, talking about, bitch, if you ain't with a pimp, you can't be down. So all that shit went on back in the game. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? That being said, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was a different a comparison. Like now, you know, when my last really bitch I really fuck with in the game, me and her was sitting in the hotel on the computer on Backpage and on motherfucking Eros. You know what I'm saying? We actually booking motherfucking calls for the bitch, right? So we just what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there in the bed, I'm like, God damn, this bitch is pimping on me, shit. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck I'm doing? Bitch, you need to be all on the blade, bitch, out there, you know, waving a trick, trying to catch a trick, right? And, you know, I watched it change. It's like, it was cold, dog. Everything flipped. The internet changed everything, you know. Then escort service changed everything. Then the strip club changed everything. But, you know, I was a little fast go with my pimping, so I liked it with the strip club because I had this little game in the strip club called, and I'm going to be brief on this, it's called Drink the Trick on the Table. So what I used to have my bras do, they'd order a bunch of shots and get the trick drunk. And then, you know how you go to a restaurant, they say gratuity? But I would have my bras write gratuity, 5,000, 3,000, 2,000, and if the trick drunk, you know, if he signed it, the club had to give her the money at the end of the day. So I did this for like a whole bunch of years until niggas started getting up on it, you know what I'm saying? But as I exited out the game, I think the last broad that I had, and I wrote about it in my book, The Art of Human Chess, she gave me 30 bands. We broke the record at Club Ecstasy in Dallas, you know what I'm saying? You know, and the owner, the club owner, he'll tell you that we actually broke the record. You know, but I had that much game to give to a bitch, you know what I mean? I showed her how, like it's like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? My bitch would tip me out. So when tip her out, a trick would pay for a tip, you know, tip her out. Because they used to have tip outs back in the day. You know what I'm saying? So when you tip her out, my bra straight at Walmart or at motherfucking, you know, JCPenney's or wherever they sell electronics, she buying fucking iPhones, she buying, you know, TVs. She had Zales getting jewelry. I'm taking the jewelry, the diamonds, putting them in my ear, making stones out of, putting this in my jewelry. And you know, because you know, it's called running the trick up. You know what I'm saying? If you can't get no more money, then you can get something that you can sell for money. And then if that don't work, you know, they would take them to the casino. The casino let you get as much money as you got, as long as you got a credit card. You know what I'm saying? They take 15%. So it was just that kind of stuff that made me change. You know what I'm saying? And then as you change, right, you can't get that type of game to anybody. So you understand me? You know, you give it to a broad, she with you 2 weeks, bam, she go fuck with a little young nigga. You know what I'm saying? You know, she out. You know, baby, I got this old dude, Pimpin Ken, put me up on some game. So you know what I mean? That's where the bras, and then you had the internet too. You know, you got pimps up, all that stuff exposing the game. We started exposing the game, speaking on YouTube, and bitches, why would she go fuck with Pimp Willie when she can sit on the internet and look at Pimpin Ken? And I ain't got to pay for the game. Right. So they got to pay for the game now. The game is all over the internet, so bitches used to pay for the game. It used to, when you used to talk slick, and niggas say, hey, bitch, you know what I'm saying? Hey, mommy, you know what I'm saying? Me so fine, your mama should have had triplets, you know what I'm saying? Hey, bitch, you ever think about being a nurse? Why? Because you like your making sing pimp well. That used to be like, woo, you know, bitches go crazy over the little square shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Now, they can hear that shit on the internet all day. So you talk that shit, they be like, boy, please. That's the first thing they say, boy, please. They try to hear that shit. So, you know, they used to pay for the game. Now the game is readily free.
Would you say another reason that stopped you is the
human trafficking?
I was just gonna say.
Yeah. So okay. She was in Atlanta when Scooby and Red, all of them got incarcerated. So I'm in Atlanta, right? I'm selling my DVD, Pimpology, and I'm selling to all the niggas in the street. So the niggas is actually taking my DVD and showing it to their hoes. You know, all the niggas got. You know, my DVD was requirement for, because I was talking a lot of game. Because, you know, I didn't know you go to jail for that shit back then. I was giving up too much game. So, you know what I'm saying? This police dude from Atlanta, his name was Red. He used to work for BMF. He was one of Meech's security guards, you know, so he was like one of them cool police officers. He really wasn't no police. He was just police at name, but he was putting niggas up on all kind of shit. He said, say, man, Ken, man, you better, you know, chill out. They got your movie, they got your DVD in court. You know what I'm saying? So I said, in court. He said, yeah. So, you know, that scared the shit out of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't want to go back to the feds, man. These motherfuckers, they watching me, right? And then, so I like I always tell people, you heard most of my interviews, I said I live my life like I'm on trial, right? And the reason why I always did that, because I always say, okay, well, if I go to court, they try to say I'm a pimp, and I'm not pimping, because I wasn't pimping at the time, Well, you know, here's proof. You know what I'm saying? I can defend myself in court on that. So that was one of the things that happened. So, you know, then I started speaking out against human trafficking, and I started showing that human trafficking is not pimping. You know what I mean? Human trafficking, you can't force nobody into prostitution. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's got, and then they changed it to, you know, it ain't even forced no more. You can't even coerce them into prostitution. You know, you can't even live off the earnings of prostitution. All that stuff came into the equation. And at that point, I was just totally out of it. You know, I was speaking down on it. I said, man, y'all get it, run for the border. I said, they're going to use y'all as pawns to incarcerate y'all because America's 5% of the world's population with 25% of the world's incarceration. You know, the drug era was gone, so they had to come, it was the pimp era, you know, pimp juice, you know what I'm saying, P-I-M-P, you know, pimping all over the world. You know, all the rappers were screaming pimping. So, you know what I'm saying, now the government chasing that. You know, they ain't chasing, you know, Nino Brown and Scarface. Nigga had Scarface pictures and all that shit when we was coming up, right? The dope boys. So now the pimp niggas is the target. You know what I'm saying? And they got to have a target because they got to incarcerate these men because, you know, it's black people are 51% of the population and only we eligible at 6%. So think about this for a minute. Everything I just told you, think about this for 1 second. If we're only 6% eligible to go to prison, we're 51% of the prison population, that means that we're the dominant target, right? So they target us and they give us guns and, you know, niggas ain't got no planes, niggas ain't got no trains, them guns ain't just coming in, that dope coming from all the way from, that shit walking all the way from across the water. You know, you can't put dope in water, that shit will melt. So you know what I'm saying, the dope is coming across the water and jumping in over here on Martin Luther King in St. Louis, you know what I'm saying, over there in East St. Louis, you know, over in Chicago. No, somebody bringing that shit over here. And at the same time, they in Congress making laws, 85% law, you know, trigger lock, you know what I'm saying, RICO law. Like Thug now would never expect the RICO law.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I would never expect the RICO law, but that's what they do. They make laws while we sleep. You know what I'm saying? You know, and what they do, they study what we doing. Like pimping, you know, like I said, first thing was underage girls, remember? Then it went to coercion, then it went to living off earning, then it went to manipulation. So they enhanced the law as they went because they're looking and seeing what niggas is doing. Yeah. So they look at that Thug now, they look at all these young niggas, they say, okay, well these niggas, they making millions and millions of dollars, but they still affiliated with the gang. So the gangs is doing their thing, they out there still robbing and killing and carjacking and so on and so forth. So if we can tie all this in to one thing, we can hit them with the RICO Act. You know what I'm saying? And they won't be able to beat it because, you know what I'm saying, he's quote unquote the leader of SY, what is it?
YSL.
YSL. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, you know, you got to look at it. That's what made me quit. See, when the white folks change their laws, that's what I do. I change my motherfucking laws. You know what I'm saying? If they say you can't do this, I stop. Like my daddy told me, he said, son, if you can walk away, you can get away. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just got to walk away, man. Sometimes you get like, fuck that shit. Like, these niggas is ill.
Yeah, one more question to ask you. You speaking of, like, you know, the law changing on like underage girls and, you know, forcing somebody to do something. R. Kelly, which you've been a native for Chicago. Would you say what he was doing was pimping, a form of pimping?
Well, I think R. Kelly, I know for a fact he used to, because Lonnie, who's his manager, he's from Milwaukee. R. Kelly read all the, you know, he used to, I don't know if he read it, had somebody read it to him. But he, you know what I'm saying? That's what be funny as hell. You know what I'm saying? No, but anyway, that's that. Listen, don't laugh, man. Come on, you try to be like blind, but you laughing, man. You behind the scenes. Now, what I'm saying, R. Kelly, right? He loved Pimps Up, Hoes Down. He loved the gang. He's from Chicago. He had the pimps in his video, Stepping in the Name of Love. Those are all pimps and players in that video, right? So you know what I'm saying? He's from the culture. You know, that's our culture in that town. So yeah, I think that he had some pimp influences, but he missed pimp. You know what I'm saying? You don't force nobody to do shit. This ain't by force, it's by choice. That's what he said, let your choice be Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying? Hey, if a bitch, you know what I'm saying, ain't trying to be down with me, she don't choose up, I don't want her. I don't want nobody, you know what I'm saying, me that ain't willing. You know, because a person, you know, that do something against their will, you know what I'm saying, me, you know, they're not going to have the same perspective. You know, so R. Kelly, but I can tell you this, I think the government was overreaching. I think that they took the wrong approach, and the reason why I said it, because they hit him with the RICO too. See, RICO is a way of the government cheating. That's when they can't get you for what you actually did. You know what I'm saying? Now, if he child pornography, if he did all this other shit they said he did, that's, you know, that's fair game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, arrest a man, you know, give him due process. But, you know, in a nutshell, I think all that shit that they trying to charge him with is overreaching. Now, me and you both know. But me and you both know, you know what I'm saying? How old are you?
31.
You're 31, count 58, right? Now, let me say this, man. We both know that if motherfucking Lil Wayne or Drake came and walked down these streets in St. Louis, that every bitch in St. Louis gonna be trying to suck his dick and try to fuck him. You know what I'm saying? And most of them gonna be underage. You know what I'm saying? And even their mama gonna be like, girl, that's Drake. Girl, you better go down there, girl. We need some Pampers and we need to. He might buy us a house. Go get pregnant by him. You know, dumb shit. You know what I'm saying? So that comes with celebrity.
They had revealed one of the parents did something like that. Do you think the parents should be held accountable for it?
Yeah, I think like if me and her rob a bank and she was to give it away, she'd get charged too, because she party to a crime. You know, if it's a crime committed and somebody is a party to a crime, yeah, they should get charged. You know what I mean? They shouldn't just charge R. Kelly, you know, but R. Kelly, man, he just, man, I think he was, you know, because I know his people, you know what I'm saying, and it's my homeboy, I think he was just like, you know, unaware that the government's trying to bring him down. You know what I'm saying? If he would have just thought about that, you know, I think he would have missed a lot of this shit, you know what I'm saying? You know, we all got secret fetish. You know, we all do weird shit behind scenes. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not a motherfucker in here. I don't know what yours is. Everybody got something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and you know, if he liked it peeing on women, if that was true, if he liked it women that was younger, you know, a lot of that shit stemmed from, you know, niggas don't be mentally, you know, like me. You know what I mean? I can fuck with a bra 50. I can fuck with a bra 80. I can fuck with a bra. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but I'm just saying, I'm just making an example. So if the people listen, it's just an example. I can fuck with any person, any age, and I can communicate with them. You know, a lot of times, man. You know, and then you know, R. Kelly was raped. You know what I'm saying, by his uncles and shit. You know, the man had a lot of psychological issues and shit that made him probably want to deal with younger people. He wanted to deal with people, you know, that he can manipulate. You know, I'm pretty sure that, you know, a grown-ass woman ain't finna let him pee on him. You know, I'm pretty sure a grown-ass woman ain't finna let him, we was talking about somebody peeing on somebody the other day, and she was like, what? You know what I'm saying? She was like, yeah, man, I wish a motherfucker would try to pee on me. You know what I'm saying? We was just having it wasn't even in race relationship to nothing. It was just somebody who said something. It was some shit that came out on the internet, and we was just talking about it. So, you know what I'm saying? We know a grown woman ain't finna let that nigga do nothing like that. A grown woman ain't finna, even the women that was older who he had a little, you know, I mean, they did it for about a month or two, and they snapped out of it. Those were the ones who actually, the older women who he was dipping and dabbing with, those were the ones who actually exposed them. Yeah. So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, so, yeah, man, you know, no, man, do not manipulate young kids. I got daughters, so I definitely don't want nobody to manipulate my daughters. You know, no, don't have sex with a woman that's underage, because you have sex with a woman underage, you know, you're not giving her a chance to say, you know, I want to marry this guy, or I want to marry that guy. You're taking her virginity at a very young age, and you know you're not serious. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so, you know, and if you got issues with that, then you probably need to go see a psychiatrist. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause you probably have mental issues as well, you know. And the same thing with a woman that mess with young men. You know what I mean? You know, we always talk about the women, but it's a lot of women that's on some R. Kelly shit too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I mean, hey, I see them. Hey, man, listen, man. When I started the hip hop fraternity, I seen some weird shit with out of these women, man. That I never even, because you know I always deal with women in the game. You know, when you deal with square bras, man, it's like it's a whole nother world, man. That these people be on, man. A lot of people, homie, I mean, a lot of people got psychological hang-ups, man, and psychological problems, you know, drug problems, you know, it's a lot of shit going on that create this weird shit that be popping off, right? You know, so, you know, man, I don't know, I wish him well, man.
I gotta ask you this, man. The Pimp C tape. There's a lot of rumors circulating around it, and this, you drew out something that said the biggest...
Well, let me put it to you like this. You gotta remember, I'm at Pimp C's mother house. I'm showing him some upcoming projects that I had coming, right? Pimpology, that was the name of the project. He said, man, I got some shit, you know. And so he showed it to me. When I seen it, I was appalled. That was one of the biggest R&B chicks in the game at the time, but it was all...
At the time or today?
But at the time. So it was Beyonce, she was a big artist, Jennifer Lopez, you know, Mary J. Blige, you know, Mariah Carey, so it could have been any one of those. So that's in the content context that I was saying it to the interviewer at the time. I wasn't saying that it was Beyonce, and I said it was one of the richest dudes in the game. There was a lot of rich dudes.
At that time.
Yeah, it could have been Suge Knight. It could have been Puffy. It could have been Master P. It was a lot of niggas that was rich at that time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jay-Z wasn't rich at the time. So for the guy who said it was Jay-Z, he misquoted me. You know what I'm saying? He had it wrong. Now he could guesstimate a lot of females at that time. Now, you know, I mean, Monica, it was a bunch of chicks, you know, popping, you know. So the reason why I came out, I wasn't trying to get no clout. It was that we was talking about Pimp C stories with Bo. You know, Bo was Pimp C right hand man as well. So I said, nigga, I bet you don't know about the sex tape. He said, yes, I do. So you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people know about it. Listen, it's a lot of people that seen that tape, man. Trust me. And if you read some of the comments, they actually say who it is. You just have to look at all the comments. I'm serious. I'm not bullshit, man. Go look at some of the interviews I did. You know, so it's a lot of people know. So I know I wasn't the only one that seen it. Yes. It was just that at the time that I seen it, you know what I'm saying? You know, it was not even intentional. It was like I was showing him my project. And when he said it now, you know, I do say that I wish I could have got that tape. You know what I mean? I would probably, you know what I mean, been rich right now. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I mean, I wouldn't expose it because Pimp C never exposed it. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why I don't say who it is. You know, now, I know for a fact that a lot of people know who it is. A lot of people.
I'm going to ask you this. Is the person still relevant today?
See, you try to get it. Hey, R.I.P. Pimp C, man. That's all I can tell you. But let me, I'll put it to you, I do even better than that. I'll put it to you like this. That if you guess it, 80% of people who guess it, they right. From the people that I say guess it, a lot of people are guessing it right. Yeah. But at the same time, you know, it would be uncharacteristic of my character for me to espouse, you know what I'm saying, or expound on what really happened because, you know, like I said, the only reason why I wouldn't say it is because the tape we don't know where the tape at, so I'd be lying anyway, and they'd be saying that I'm just trying to get I'm clout chasing, and I'm just name clicking, you know, to get clickbait. So you know what I mean, I never said it then, I never said it now. I mean, I'm pretty sure that everybody know who it is. You know what I'm saying? It don't take. I mean, it's very few. You know, there's very few variables there. You know, you can put the. You know, I mean, even if you put two of them together, you'll be 50% right. Because you're talking about maybe 4 or 5 people at that time. So you know, 2 is 50% right.
One last question about that: is it somebody that's from the same city as him?
Huh?
Is it somebody that's from the same city as him?
Hey, I'll put it to you like this. That a lot of niggas in Houston, right, know what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they know what it is. You know, it's a lot of folklore. You know what I'm saying? When I say folklore, it's a lot of tales to tell. You know, in Houston, it's a lot of secrets. But then I can tell you one thing I can tell you, and whoever the person is, you know, I mean, she ain't just. You know, she ain't just no regular person. You know what I'm saying? And second of all, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, a lot of the niggas in Houston, you know who I'm talking about. You know, they know who was reckless. You know what I'm saying? They know, you know, what went down. You know what I'm saying? You know, they know how this shit go. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, you know, like my man Slim Thug. You know, not him, but he messed with a lot of women, right? In the entertainment business. You know, Mike Jones messed with a lot of entertainers. You know, Lil Flip had a lot of entertainers. So they uncommon for them to have relationships with superstar chicks. But, you know what I'm saying? I mean, who is the person on the tape? Hey, listen, man. We all gonna meet our maker. When you meet your maker, knock on Pimp C casket. You're like, Pimp. You know what I'm saying? We both in heaven now. Who was that? Who was that on the tape? Pimp C gonna like, say man, go ask Ken, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't with that bullshit, man. I'm out here chilling. I've been having chilling, man. So you know, I mean that's more than likely how it's gonna go. But
say this, man. I appreciate the time, man.
Hey man, you get me with some tough questions. I know you gonna come. I thought that one nigga was cold, boy. You cold.
Okay, last thing I like for you to do is shout out y'all social media, let people know they can find you at.
Okay, well, first of all, if y'all want to find us, we at thehiphopfraternity.com. You know, we have some all-star artists. Today I brought the all-star artists. Y'all met PB Poodle and Richie Rich, who is our megastar. This is H2O, Hard to Attain. She's one of our megastars, one of our all-stars. And this is y'all own St. Louis, by way of East St. Louis, Billboard Cash. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's some great artists, man. Y'all gonna be seeing a lot coming. You know, they weigh, you know, you see them on all the billboards, the posters, you know, they on the big ass 8-foot posters all throughout KOD. So they not, you know, really no strangers. They all over my page, and you can go to her page at.
You can follow me at hard.to.obtain on Instagram. So that's hard.the2.obtain on Instagram.
Hey yo, you can follow Mr. Brick by Brick himself at IG at chatboycaz_19. Make sure you go to www.hiphopfraternity.com, sign up, create a page, and add me as a friend.
That part.
And we also have HHF Magazine, hhfmag.com. We have hhfradio.com. So, you know, we have, it is a social media, HHF Clothing. So if they want to buy any of the clothing that we sport, you know what I mean, we have that for sale. And we just want to say to all the people in conclusion, man, that listen, you know, we calling all gangs, we calling all, you know, social organizations, we calling all frats. Anybody that's African American to come together, man, because hip hop is the new Black Wall Street. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's created more billionaires and more millionaires than any other entity in the history of the world. You know, we formed this culture in the early 70s, you know what I'm saying? With Sylvia Robinson, you know what I'm saying? Her and Big Bang Hank, Rappers Delight, you know what I'm saying? So this is our culture, our call, and the Hip Hop Fraternity you can join for free. All you gotta do is go to thehiphopfraternity.com. You know, we don't discriminate. You know, anybody who loves hip hop, that's our brother and that's our sister. You know, that's how we, you know, how we conduct ourselves. You know, and we always, you know, willing to educate people. You know, you can make it to Monday. You know, right now we are pregame. Just come down to pregame 899 Martin Luther King Drive, and we'll definitely, you know, sit down and hobnob with you. You know, we got artists.
That's in Atlanta. That is in Atlanta. That is in Atlanta. Let me say that right there. That is in Atlanta for sure.
There's some Martin Luther King over here too.
Yeah,
so I don't want y'all to be going on Martin Luther King Drive in St. Louis.
Yes, y'all got HHF in St. Louis. That way.